Us and the Pepper and the Guy show.
Short.
Yep. Could be Gepper or Pie. Ooh, Pie sounds good. Anyway, so we are here on our Friday, and I am actually in the middle of inking, so I may just switch over and ink while we talk, if that's okay with you, Pepper.
It's more than happy to be. I am working on something that I can't show anyway, so it's fine.
That sounds slightly, well, that didn't work. Oh, that makes sense. Give that a try. Thank you. So, we are discussing. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Guy. Good morning, Brent. And you're at work. Picard season 2. Yes. I watched that last night. It was actually really funny because I was just saying to my wife about that. I was saying that it's funny because I'm like a lot of my friends, I'm their resident Trekkie, right? And so they would watch these episodes of Picard or whatever, and immediately they bombard me during the day with questions from the episode, and I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. I have to wait for my wife to come home. I can't watch it until my wife comes home. And so it's really funny because they'll accidentally spoiler some things. It's like meh. So it's kind of funny. Or counterpoint, I have some hardcore Trekkie friends who will PM me and ask about this aspect or that aspect. So typically speaking, on Thursdays, starting at about right after the show, I stop hanging out on social media because I'm like, people are just spoiling this. You didn't. I'm just noticing that it was that seems to be a thing that's kind of going on. No, you're not causing me any trouble, my friend. Pepper's causing no, Pepper's not actually causing me any trouble either. Okay, so
Hey, don't say I'm causing trouble, because I'll start.
Trouble, man.
I'll start causing trouble.
That was okay.
So.
Yeah, that was totally cool, Brent. Don't worry about it. All right. So we've got frame 1 here kind of going in, and it looks pretty cool. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I'm going to have to declutter it to some degree. Like, I'm going to have to figure out how to. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the coloration of everything behind the seats here with a gray tone or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and then of course the windows need to be blacked out because they're in space, and so. But I need to seal up over here first before I do that, because this zone will just fill with black, and then it'll become, have consoles and stuff like that. And good morning, Colton.
Are you joining us today, Colton?
Oh, okay. That works, honey. We will just, that's all right. Colton's coming in on Twitch as Radimus, so we'll just get used to your other login on YouTube. So that works.
Cool. Hi, Homer.
Colton's going to join us. Oh, he's finishing some Finac things. Yeah. I know he meant financial, but it's still funny to say Finac. Totally meant financial.
It kind of sounds like Affleck. So
Affleck.
I can totally see it being said by a goose now.
Right? Finac. You know we are easily entertained, right? You and I.
Oh yeah, no, I know we're completely easily entertained. That's never been
given. That's a given. That's why
That's
we're
never.
friends. Absolutely why we're
That's
friends.
yeah. I mean, it's always been that way. It's,
Yeah. So we've got a legit, honest to goodness frame. One frame done. However, I have page set all 3 pages for the first 4 pages of the comic. And I say that because page 1 actually involves spaceships. So we're going to have to work on that level. The spaceships don't exist yet.
gotcha. I am currently working on
Something you can't talk about.
Yeah, well, I can talk about what I'm doing. I just can't talk about what it is. Um, Essentially, I work for a company um, that I do the artwork on the products for. And so, what I'm doing right now is I've been working on a concept, and this is my third concept for the same card, um, the same art per se. Um, and it's just, yeah. Um,
Makes sense.
yeah. It's just, it's the approval process basically right now. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to take it as easy as possible because I realized after last year, and especially towards the end, I overloaded myself to the point where it was not a good mental health thing. So I'm just trying to make sure that I do work that is really good at this point, um, and not overload myself like I did last year. So
Sam Sington. Here we go. And looks like Hone overslept. Which, actually, something must be in the air because I actually slept almost 8 hours last night, which is extraordinarily rare for me. But good. I was excited. I was happy. I was like, yay, look at me.
yeah,
I was all happy and stuff. This panel does not, in fact, go all the way out to the edge, and that's aggravating because I should have made it that way, and then it wouldn't be a problem, but now it's a problem, and I'm annoyed. Hey, look who's here. There we go. We can add Colton now. Oh, come on.
mm.
No.
Jeez, Colton can only talk by Twitch.
What? No.
Colton's like
Don't
making it.
tell me that.
Colton is absolutely silent except his lurk. I don't know what lurking is all about, but okay. Or why he's lurking. I mean, I know what lurking is, obviously, but is this a you joined, but it takes some time for you to show up on my screen, and while it's taking some time, because I've noticed that both of you guys are doing this. You'll show up and I'll hit go, and you're both like, "Well, finally you let me in." So there must be some kind of lag between when you show up on my control board and when you join the stream. Because
I just wanna throw this out here. Like, I joined before 9 o'clock, and it still takes you a few minutes, like, to figure out that I'm here.
Well, sometimes that's true. I mean, that's not an untrue statement. But
I mean, sometimes
sometimes
I waited until 9 o'clock.
You've both done the because like today, you joined and I saw you right there, so I just clicked on the button. So there was no lag.
The first time he saw you.
The first time, yeah, that's exactly what it is. The first time.
Oh, your face.
I have totally gone on to your show, and I'm like sitting there for like 5 minutes, and you start the show, and I'm still waiting to be.
I guess Pepper's not joining me today. Pepper's
Yeah,
sitting right
exactly.
here.
That's
I'm
what I
like
mean.
right there. Right?
Pepper's
why-
sitting at your door, banging on it. It's like, damn it, guy.
That's why I'm saying I wonder if there's some kind of glitch. Because
Well,
it's not
so-
like you guys aren't clear on the left side there.
So I was to say the thing with the lurk thing with Twitch specifically, it's a TOS thing. So if I actually, it's for people that are just sitting there and lurking and just watching the show and not saying anything in your chat, you're still gonna get their view count. Because Twitch now set up for people that are only active are really what you're actually getting the account for.
Oh, I get it.
People
So
are being
you're
accountable for now. So if you do that command, the exclamation lurk, you're actually giving that person credit now for you still being there, even though you're not going to be active in the chat.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yep. Just so you know.
That's extremely useful, and I have learned something new about Twitch.
Yeah, I learned it through my friends. I don't know if you actually have to set it up or not, but I know my friends that are streamers that I watch on occasion just for support.
Mm-hmm.
I use them as background noise.
Sure.
So I'll toss in lurk. Yeah, see? Now everybody's coming in.
No, that's Brent telling
Yep.
you doing what we're. Thank you, Brent. Thanks for the support.
But yeah, so it will start showing up as like you have however many people are actually active on your chat, or not even active, but like actually watching. Like currently right now, it says you have 2 viewers.
Yeah.
That's because we're both lurking. Me and Brent.
Right? I had
And
2 whole
it
viewers.
only works. I mean, we would fall off if we actually logged out. Like if we close the window and all that stuff, it would actually go away. But
He's helping out on YouTube as well.
I don't know
well,
if YouTube works the
Pointing out on YouTube
same.
too, so that's helpful.
I'm not sure if YouTube works. Well, that's not what I wanted. There we go. That's the stream I wanted. But yeah, I don't know I don't know if it
I
works
just
on
wanted
YouTube.
to
It might.
say, Colton, that road sucks right there. I mean,
Which
you just
one?
drive- The
The one on the
the
left? I
one
know.
on the right. Because like totally, you just drive and then you fall off the edge there.
We live in a square world. This is how flat earthers think.
Right, exactly. We're just saying. Anyway, yeah, I
Watch time makes sense though, Brent.
appreciate you lurking for me. Thank you.
But yeah, there's some new stuff, new information for you. Have fun.
New
with that.
information.
Deal with it as you wish.
You're not helping me. So I have a panel. Look at this panel. We have a panel. One whole panel.
One whole panel.
Yep.
Get my
465 to go.
Right. It's totally true. You
Yeah.
are wrong.
Sadly, yeah, you're probably not wrong. Come on. Come on, Photoshop. Listen to me.
Very Doctor Strange world going on over there. There we go. All right. And not bad. First panel in. Okay. All other panels, I'm not going to necessarily have all the backgrounds in, so I don't need to work hard on that.
Photoshop's lagging. Watching Pepper walking back and forth from one wall to the next.
You know what that means? That's pepper pacing.
Pepper pacing?
I mean, I'm easily entertained. But we already established this.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. We got stuff now. All right.
It's because I gotta show what I'm doing today.
Oh. That's why you're walking back and forth?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
the fact is also, like, I've been kind of lagging on social media stuff that I need to actually adhere to.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So sometimes as artists, we get contracts and we have to oblige them.
What?
We have to
I
follow
know.
it.
He's
What's
just so
that
weird.
mean? Please tell me. Enlighten me.
He's so weird. him and his contracts. And
I'm glad you're getting
Upright.
contracts. Go you.
So part of something that I actually am signed on to, I have to make social media posts about when they launch projects.
There you go.
So, especially if I want them
If you want
to,
the money,
yeah, pay me.
if I want to get paid.
Basically, they launched these postcards type deal, and I did one of them, and I haven't posted outside of like an Instagram story. So,
Sorry.
So yeah,
Is that like bullshit? I'm just wondering.
No, literally, I sneezed.
I'm teasing.
I love Pepper. I would not trade that.
You would not.
I can show the artwork finally publicly.
Ooh.
So
are you back on Instagram? I know you had to get off there because of that guy that stole your account.
Well, my old account is still hacked. My new account just has a dot in between Pepper and DeLuca.
Actually, I think your old account is finally gone. Because I tried to access it just to see if the guy still had it, and it just goes black.
He blocked a lot of people.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bad thing just occurred. I'm on the wrong layer.
Good.
So anyways, I drew this guy.
He's so cute.
Yeah, it's a yokai.
Yokai.
And if for those of you who don't know the term yokai, it's what they call a Japanese spirit or a Japanese monster, or basically for what I'm doing for my purposes, Japanese cryptids is what they're referring to. And this one is essentially like this little tiny creature that predicts stuff and wears a pot on his head. So yeah, I believe he is called. Let me look it up real quick. I believe he is called the.
I love
That'd be
yokai.
an asphalt brush.
Postcards. He is called the Narigama.
The what?
Narigama.
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 Narigama. So
it's kind of funny because yokai is also the word for Roger or yes sir. They'll use that a lot. Yokai, so every time somebody talks about yokai, I'm like, I'm like, oh good, he's like, it's a yokai, then I have to like salute. So it's kind of like the joke from How I Met Your Mother about anytime anybody goes, it's a general pain. They always had to make that joke in How I Met Your Mother.
I like that show.
I did too. I liked it too. It was a good show. And this panel is my weird little goofy-headed alien going, hey, it's all cool. I got this under control. Yada, 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 yada.
Okay, that comes out cool too much.
Okay. All right. Speaking of yokai, you guys heard about the stone breaking in Japan, yeah?
I did.
What?
I did, and all I have to say is, you know what? If we have a giant nine-tailed fox demon roaming around our Earth, I mean, it's 2022.
Yep.
What can I say?
It just fits. Just fits.
What happened?
So there is in one of the prefectures of Japan, there's a rock that has a demon ward on it. And the rock has, by tradition, been holding a fox spirit. The fox spirit, according to myth, of course, because this is all mythological, in 1050, the fox spirit tried to seduce the emperor by posing as a courtesan, and she tried to kill him while doing that, and they entrapped her in a rock and put a ward on it. And that rock has been sort of a tourist thing. Well, and see, I'm sneaky. So the and I'll explain that in a second, Hone. So the rock split like 3 or 4 or like a week ago. It just split in half, broke through the ward, split, fell down the hill. And it wasn't a small rock, it was a big rock.
Just out of nowhere?
Just out of nowhere, it just split. And it was like, so of course, you know, superstitious people in Japan are like, oh God, we're all gonna die. But most of us are just making jokes about it.
Right.
Because it's funny. And it is. It's adorably funny. It's just weird. And that's all right. And it's okay.
Well, it's also because, like, most of us were like, that'd actually be kind of cool to see something different for once.
Yeah. So Brian and I have this entire thing about it that we were going on about. And now we have to write a comic about it. Because we were like, you know, because her name was Tomomo no Mae is the name of the spirit, I believe. So I was like, you know, now she's going to be on Fox News, naturally, talking about how she wants to make Japan feudal again. And so we have this whole thing
on Fox, of course. It would be Fox. That would be Fox.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, so that
Fox is over here going, we want the news story. We're bringing her on.
Right. It was a very funny, like,
I get it. That's awesome.
We were all on this, and it was so freaking funny. And he and I were doing this in private message and everything. It was just so funny.
How private?
It was very private. So.
Don't mind me.
Right. So, Hone, I can broadcast at any time on YouTube. Now, whether it goes anywhere and whether anybody sees it is dependent on my subscriber level, which is still pretty low. But
I don't know. You have plenty of Russian bots.
I have a lot of Russian bots who are very fond of me and stuff, but they're, you know, that's what we've got.
Or your content. I don't know.
They like my comic. That's what it is. They love my comic. And so there's that. But yeah, that's why I can broadcast with only 13 subscribers. And I'm kind of sad that I only have 13 subscribers. Can I just mention that real quick? Because it kind of sucks. Just saying. Broadcast. Well, of course, I didn't add YouTube to my broadcast list until about a year ago or something like that. So.
By the way, Colton, I just want to say I think you are correct because when I do my personal tags, it no longer says like over 1,000 posts.
Ah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So my previous account, most likely, and I'm hoping is
finally got knocked out.
It's gone.
Finally got knocked out.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So, which sucks because I was getting up there in my following count, getting back to followers that Guy was just talking about. Because as artists, we kind of need to improve
followers.
Those.
We're not going anywhere until that's one of the reasons why I'm going to scramble here to get. Well, not scramble. It's one of the reasons why I'm putting together these pages, even though they're not main pages, because I'm going to go ahead and post them to webtoons. So we'll start a webtoons and at least some issues of Bellatrix Rising will be online.
Or webtoons. Does it have to be a scrolling comic?
So yes. However,
Okay.
let me show you something here, because what I did was I made a page. I'll have to clear all this stuff out temporarily, but I made a master page here, which has an extra length down to the bottom for the Webtoons extension, because it's scrolling, but all it is really they just stack them one on top of another. So
Oh
you
yeah,
can
I know
have
that.
as
Yeah.
many of them as you want underneath. So what I was going to do is the if I zoom in here, because it's kind of hard to see. This is a traditional manga page layout with the page number squares as they
Uh-huh.
are, and all the markers on it and stuff like that. And then I went on ahead and added in headers for cover. So if I ever do covers or anything, I can use this same page. Um, then this is millimeters relative to the real final product. As in, this isn't really 1 millimeter, it's 1 millimeter after you have shrunk it down and printed it as a tankobon. So that way you can place things relative to how you. So I can go look at and measure stuff on, say, any tankobon I've got here, and oh, this is 4 millimeters wide. Okay, then it'll be 4 millimeters wide here. So instead of, because if you were to print this out, this prints out at 11 by 17, not 5 by
Fair.
11 or whatever, or 5 by 10 or whatever it is that tankobon had. So then down here, what I added was an extension. So this is a Webtoon extension. So Webtoons goes to the bottom of this blue line right here. And all of this is part of the Webtoons page. So what I'll do is, once I have finished my page as it stands, like we put in all of the artwork for the page, yada, 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 and then the page is complete. Once the page is complete, I can then decide for Webtoons version to cut panels and move them down, or space stuff out more, or whatever, and have two different versions of the same page on this page. So once I'm complete with all the inking, I can go back in with the Webtoon stuff and do that. So that's what we're doing here.
Okay.
So for example, like this bottom panel here, I might move this bottom panel down into this Webtoon zone for the Webtoons page and put something right here.
Right.
Hey, time has passed or something. So, or I might just go through and space out all of the panels so that they've got more space in between them, or whatever. Harder whenever I'm doing a panel like this one over here, where it's all like it's open to the rest of the universe here. But that's all right. That's all right. Anyway, so that's how I'm dealing with it on this. So
cool.
And I've also been sort of illustrating how fast it takes to make a page whenever I use maquettes, because I just skip the pencil phase altogether. I don't need to pencil this page at all. I just go straight to ink, which is extremely useful and very fast. So anyway.
What?
What's your problem?
Colton Telltales. They just made an Expanse Telltales game.
Telltales?
Yeah. Telltales?
What is that?
Telltales? Interactive story. Video games.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
So it's like an RPG, but for a video game.
For the most part, yeah. Like Wolf Among Us. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was the big one. Was Wolf Among Us. It was like the big bad wolf was a let's see. Fairy tale characters are real and walk among us in New York City. Play as Bigby, the big bad wolf, the sheriff of Fabletown, as you return to a gritty detective noir world where there are no fairy tale endings.
Okay.
So, well, the reason why I say that because I just was looking randomly. I was like, I'm curious here and seeing if one of the game companies here in Colorado has been doing anything recently. Because the stuff that they do is Life is Strange, the Life
Right.
is Strange series, which is very interactive RPG, story based games.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw on there it says The Expanse. I was like, what? Is that what I think it is? It is.
Our Expanse? The Expanse?
Like the game, like the show, yes.
Nice.
I'm like, wow, okay, cool. So they're doing that. And they did that with Telltale Games. Telltale Games. Blah. So I'm like, oh, cool. They're still doing stuff. They got something else. Most of them just kind of looking around, trying to see, like, all right, what game companies right now died due to the pandemic?
Yeah.
Because there's at least 3 that I know of that should be good. In Colorado, at least.
Right.
Yeah, these guys. I think these guys should be. Because we got one in Westminster, Boulder, and Denver. Those are the 3 that I know that are still active. That are at least worth going to. All the other ones are holding on by a thread if they're alive.
No.
This is all pre-pandemic, too, so...
Right. They weren't doing good to begin with.
No.
Well, and that's the thing. Game companies, games are making bank. Which is...
Oh, they are. But, I mean, some of them, if they weren't close enough to doing anything at that time, like, they were all kind of like, well, shit.
Yep. Well, and I mean, that's definitely a thing.
Right.
There we go. He's responding and pushing buttons. That looks cool. And they've got 2 panels in, guys. Well, not yet, because actually I need to put her back here smiling at him.
Oh. You guys are switching to Unreal. That's cool. That's a new one.
She's the only one actually wearing a uniform in this. Everybody else.
I like to look at these 3 at least, or at least all the ones that I know that are still up here, and kind of see what they have going on right now. That's about it.
Yeah.
Also to see if they have any internships open.
Right? That's important. No.
Like I was talking to my mom last night. I was like, if I can do this right, get financially part of this, of where I'm at right now, if I can do this right, I could probably drop down to part-time work where I'm at currently. And go get an internship and do that part-time. And at least get experience under my belt while I'm in school.
That'd be cool.
It would. I think it'd be fun. I just been like mulling around a lot of ideas in my head.
Right. Like, what am I going to do?
Can I do this? Can I not do this? How can I make this easier on myself? How can I make it harder? Always go harder.
So that's what she said.
Hey.
Or that's what she didn't say.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a weird angle. So your outline like flattened her head in this weird position.
What?
Oh, the character you're working on, her head looks, with the outline, it flattened her head.
It did.
And a weird angle. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, so part of the problem is that her hair is black.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I'm having a hard time seeing it against the black seat behind her.
Makes sense.
So it is. I was going to go back. What I was going to do was ultimately lower the opacity of the whiteout section.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I decided to put in her seatbelts, her seat restraints.
Oh, that's why. Let's try that again.
And thank you for that catch, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, actually,
It's not
appreciate.
like I would do it. All right.
I have no idea what he's saying.
Woo!
That was just I know that some people are like, no, don't criticize my work. And I'm like, no, actually, we don't get better. So.
Exactly.
And make sure she's got her stripes because she's a ranking officer. Don't want to mess that up.
What's this one? What do you do? What do you do? Do something cool. That's not
Actually,
what I wanted. Cool, but not what I wanted.
I did want to talk to you guys. Well, I guess both of you, because you're both on the show. So I know that we are trying to talk about art processes a little bit more often.
Uh-huh.
And one of the art processes I wanted to bring up today was getting print samples as artists.
Crit samples?
Print.
Oh, print.
Yes. So, as everyone knows, at least all of us work in the arena of some type of comic book type deal.
Uh-huh.
So I found this place that actually prints newspapers.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
Because I had an idea of doing comic strip, like a comic strip funnies like page type deal.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean print on newsprint too?
Yeah, on newsprint too. Yeah. So I found it. It's a place called Newspaper Club. I don't know their quality yet, obviously. I signed up for them to send it to me. They are based in the UK, so it's going to be taking like
100 years to get
10
to you.
days. Well, according to them, 10 days from overseas, which translated, if anyone knows anything about stuff coming from overseas right now, you want to add maybe about another 4 to 5 days after what they've actually stated.
Yeah.
Depending on what you print, depending on what you ship as, yes.
Yeah. Now, mind
ship
you,
through. Sorry, depending on who you ship through.
Yeah, and honestly, they do. When I contacted them, they actually said they send everything out in batch mailing, which means it's going to take probably a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes sooner though, so I'm just going to play it by ear. But once I get them, I will actually probably show everyone on the show.
Nice.
So, but
I would like to see it. I'm curious.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, they're called the company's called Newspaper Club, and it's all because the last few times I've been on the show, I've been talking about writing for comic strips, and so that's where it came from. Like I was like, okay, so once I actually get this done, I do need to start looking at pricing to find out how much this is going to cost me. Because initially, I think I wanted to do about 12 pages worth of funny comics type deal. So
samples, Brent samples.
I mean, if I don't know if I really want your blood, Brent, per se.
That's no fun.
I mean, I know that there's people who would probably want your blood. If you want to donate it to them, that's great. They're called vampires.
Right.
Sometimes they get a little bit too clingy, and you have to kind of be like, no, I don't want to be your servant. So
that's another one of those.
Yeah.
So one day I was in the teacher's room, and somebody was talking about vampires, and I turned to my second grade English teacher and I said Kuketsky, and he went, "How do you know these words?" He's like, "How do you know the word for vampire? It is such an obscure Japanese word." It's like I didn't have the heart to say that I used to watch manga or used to read manga called Kuketsuki Miyu, and
Vampire.
yeah, and so I picked up that from Vampire Princess Miyu, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, Vampire Princess, yeah.
Yeah, Kuketsuki. It's pronounced Kuketsuki in Japanese. So once you have read/watched the entire series, it becomes one of those you just get used to saying Kuketsuki, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kuketsuki. There you go. I'm just helping you there. So depending on whether you want vampires that hop, which is another really funny thing. While my wife and I were in Japan, we were just flipping through channels one morning.
You said vampires that hop?
That's what I was about to explain. So, and we found this show with this adorable little girl who was like, I don't know, 10, maybe 11. And she had the hat and she had the hair, and then she was in traditional dress, and she put her hands up like paws and she hopped, and she was a vampire. So apparently,
yeah, I've seen these ones.
Kuketsuki hop. And I didn't know that until I saw that. But she was like 10 and she was so cute. It was just like my wife and I are like, "Aw, cutest vampire on the planet." I mean, she was just.
We know how you guys are gonna disappear one day.
Right? I know. I'm like, and that was actually kind of what we said. We were like, "This is how we die, is because it'll be an adorable, fluffy little 10-year-old vampire, and we'll be like, "Oh, you're so cute," and then they bite you, and then we're dead.
Ah, my blood.
Right?
Yeah. Like, well, I will say Vampire Princess Miyu actually kind of like introduced a lot of different styles of vampires that people didn't realize existed.
Yeah.
Well,
that was.
But none of them were sparkling.
Shinma in there, and that's the thing. Is Shinma are a different kind of. That's a different kind of Japanese lore.
Yeah.
And so
they all sparkle in our hearts.
Yeah, they don't sparkle. I don't know. I find Japanese lore vampires to be actually kind of cool and not sparkly.
Yeah.
You know, and
I was more laughing because someone posted a picture of the whole Wolverine in bed, like holding a picture or whatnot of whatever people put as the meme. And had what was it? Women in like 2012 or whatever, whenever Twilight came out, like all touching Edward's face, and then it goes men in 2020 touching the new Batman, Bruce Wayne's face.
Right,
it's the same actor.
Well, there's also the one that was it the other one that's going around where it's like, see, this does have the legend. This does actually prove the legend that vampires turn into bats.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of Robert Pattinson as his vampire role, and then him in his Batman outfit. So, I mean, I get it. I
do really too. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, okay, I get where you guys are going.
Yeah.
Still funny.
Yeah.
He's actually not a bad actor, though. That is for sure. He just got a role that just got a lot of flack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I will say the Twilight movies, they're definitely, for me, not something I want to watch every day. Like, if
you
I'm super
Twilight movies,
I will watch them, yes. But if I watch them, it's at my choosing, and it's because I'm literally that bored.
I'm the same way. I tried to, when they first came out, the books, I was doing the whole, like, I still do this with everything. I was like, I can't knock it till I give it a shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair. And
And I tried giving it a shot. And then I walked back into my library, my school library, and I was like, you should probably burn these. And then she's like, what's that mean? Everybody loves them. I'm like, yeah, there's a certain level of people that they're going for. And believe me, I totally understand why they love them. And she's like, what? I was like, you should probably read these. And yeah. And she was
Yeah,
like, oh, okay.
yeah. I what I find interesting is that we're talking about this, and it's one of those moments where I'm like realizing, like, as artists, how do we really treat um, how do we really treat stuff that we don't like, and how does that affect our art?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
or anything we create, really. Because the one thing that I can say that I pulled from Twilight is, if I'm going to do anything vampires, I'm not going to make them sparkly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I wonder
not gonna
if
lie, here's the thing I got out of it too, in that same sense of that, was that I found out like when she first started reading those books, she knew nothing of vampires. She only watched like 3 episodes of Buffy and was like, all right, cool, I got this.
yeah, it's Buffy fanfic.
I know,
And
but when I heard that, I was like, you need more information. You can't just jump right in and be like, hey, like, you do kind of like a little bit more backstory on vampires, or you're just gonna have this weird like when the thunder cracks and they hit baseball, like when they play baseball, it sounds like the thunderstorm. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, and that's the thing is I think and this is one of those listed under, well, she was writing Buffy fanfic.
I know.
People
Well,
thought
I
her
know she was, but at the same time, like my friend
Buffy.
asked me, he's like, "So you actually read it?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, What is it?" I'm like, "Well, it's literally would be the exact same story if you got rid of them being vampires. Like at least the first book. I know later on because you got werewolves and war and all that other stuff
well,
changes it. But like the first book specifically, I was like, you get rid of the whole vampire story, like the whole vampire part of it, and it would be the exact same story. Edward would just be in the hospital for a little bit.
Well, no, I mean that's the thing. She wrote a Buffy fanfic, and
Yeah.
then people thought it was good, so
Yeah.
she went through and did a find replace for Buffy and put in whatever her name is, and find replace for Angel and put in Edward. And so, I mean, it's she just so part of it.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm going to say this yes and no because I'm sorry. The main character does not represent Buffy at all. Like,
Well,
Buffy was
that's
a badass.
yes, but I
I
think
know.
that's just a sign that she took the wrong lesson from Buffy.
Oh, I know. No, she took a lot of the long lessons, and that's where I think
I
a
also
lot of
feel
people
like
that were
it
into
may
it
have been
totally
Mary
liking it.
Sue.
One more
It
time?
might have been a very Mary Sue thing.
Yeah.
It might have been her and Edward, or her and Angel. So it might have been actually more of an Angel fanfic. But the point is that the reason it has no research is because she didn't. She was on a forum out there writing this Buffy fanfic, and it became popular on the forum, and then somebody bought it.
I did not know that part.
So it's part of this is that it was legitimately a Buffy fanfic. So
Makes
um,
more sense.
yeah, so that's why she didn't do any research on it. She didn't intend for it to be mainstream.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's I mean, as someone who is literally doing the exact same thing here, because that's literally what this is. This is a Star Trek fanfic that I am modifying.
Cheater.
But before I do that, my battle plan has been um, to before I do that, I went through and re-world build. I did the world building for 2 years.
Yeah, no, see, yeah, but see, you did all the planning, you did all the building, like you did
But
the
also,
research portion of it.
nobody has said that they want my fanfic, and nobody. It's not like they're buying this.
well,
Nobody's buying
Well,
it.
but
So,
also, like, we're in
here's
the age of fanfics right now. That's the thing.
yeah, it is. But I'm just saying that it on the difference is that yeah, I did more due diligence, but on the same token, I'm doing more due diligence because I am striking out on my own here to get this sold. whereas she was caught unawares that people were interested in her fanfic and ended up selling it, which I wouldn't blame her. There's no blame here on that. But she ended up selling it without, sight unseen, so to speak. So she didn't have time to go back and refix it. And
oh yeah, no, make your money where you can.
exactly.
Really get it.
Exactly. So that's
you wanted to say something, Pepper?
What I wanted to say is also at the same time, like, even though the first book, if anyone's read it, it's actually like the roughest read I have ever done.
Sure.
It was pretty bad.
Also,
and it's not from a research standpoint. It was, I've read interviews that she did about that first book before she wrote the others, and she like point blank states like one of the scenes that is in the movie, she wrote that first. Like, so she didn't even write everything in sequential order.
Oh yeah.
He jumped from like one place to another, so she had to have someone. I swear, as rough as it is, she had to have someone help tie everything together and make sure it was cohesive before going national wide. Because I mean, she had to. Unfortunately, she didn't have an editor that basically was like, maybe you shouldn't make it look like she's being stalked by two boys this entire time as a teenage girl.
Yeah, there was a lot of cringe in that series. I think that's actually the biggest part of it. It was the cringing part that I was like, I just,
Yeah, for me. It was like, I would never want my daughter to read this as something healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And for me as a creator, it basically made me kind of like, okay, if I'm making it for an age group, what do I want to exclude so it's not like this?
What are you actually trying to get across in your writing, And that was definitely, and I think that was my point to my librarian at the time, but being only in high school, I had no idea how to like word this properly at the time. I was like, I don't understand these emotions. But I'm like, this is not good. Like, there's a lot to this that I don't no.
There's a lot wrong with it. Like, and then on top of that, like, after the entire thing came out, and then she wrote another love story that kind of was like similar to Twilight. It was very problematic about aliens that inhabit.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that one.
And like, I didn't even read it. Yeah, like, but like, and then I heard that she was like going through a divorce and stuff like that because like of similar reasons of what was happening in her book.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
She started writing about she started writing about her experience.
Yeah,
so I'm like, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense at that point because as creatives, we all pull from what we know.
I totally am pulling from my experience as a Federation officer. Just saying.
Oh, good.
Or your aspirations of joining the SpaceX program. That's fine too.
Oh, that's true. All of those are true. No lies here.
Like I think Guy could make a great SpaceX person. Let him do it.
Thank you. I'll be later and sending that check in the mail.
But again, it's one of those things of the reason why I brought it up was there's many stories that have like a big cringe to them. They have a lot of things that like I don't want to have in mine, and a lot of people are the same way. So,
right.
Yeah. Okay. So Donald made a really good point about the Cimmerillion and the first 200 pages of Dune. Those are some rough things.
I have tried to read Dune 62,000 times in my life, and those
this actually might be why I was not impressed with the movie.
Yeah.
when
I
with the part one that they've already released. I was just like,
send you right now from Facebook and stuff.
Well, first, I've only watched the movie. I've never been able to read the book. That book makes, I don't know why, I get to page like 25 and all of a sudden my dyslexia kicks in and I can't read anything after that. It's that boring to me.
what is reading?
What is reading? My brain doesn't want to read this now. This is why I read comics, because it has pictures. No.
Okay.
I thought it was funny. My mom's the one that got me to read comics because her aunts mentioned it to her. He's like, hey, if he doesn't like reading books, like try comic books. It worked with our kids. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she regretted it. Because that's all I would actually read. I was like, no, give me something I can. Because it was like the first one I had was they did a comic book on The Hobbit. And that's the first book I ever got. Comic book was the Hobbit comic book, and I read that, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" And then later on, I read the actual book.
Well, first, I just want to say that I went to a school, like the foundations of it. Like, we read a book, and then we watched a movie about the same book, and then we discussed the differences between translating the book into a movie.
Like Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
The Cuckoo Nest.
So what we had to do is we had three things, and this is what I'm going to actually point out. So James and the Giant Peach by Ronald Dahl. We actually had to read the book, and then we were able to watch the movie. But our literature teacher was a big theater-like person. Okay. So we had to act out James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, fuck.
With interpretive dance.
No, I was actually the narrator.
With
at the very beginning. The one that basically talks to James as like this fast-talking man that gives him the glowing worms that makes the peach grow to a giant peach.
Uh-huh.
That was my role.
That's awesome.
I'm just I like the idea of the interpretive dance. I don't know what your problem is.
First
I joined the drama club because I just wanted to draw their backgrounds.
No.
You joined the drama club just to be dramatic.
Let's just put it this way. Our school had a stage, right? Our school had a stage, but we didn't perform on this stage. We performed this literally like New York kid imagination style. We went out onto the back stoop of the school, and that's where we performed. Outside. The
back stoop of the school.
Yeah. Like, our stage was literally the back two doors of, and I'm saying this now, but, like, think about this. Like, I'm doing comics, and I primarily try to write for children, and if I'm going to write based off of my experience, I'm going to write this and kind of like do something similar because like this teacher basically was really good at pulling in the imagination because it taught us like if we're going to do something like this, we have to basically retain the attention of the crowd no matter where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of goes for comics. It goes for anything creative. It goes for anything that you're doing.
Shit.
Did you go on the wrong layer?
No, never. Why would I do that?
Wait.
I'm a professional.
There we go. I am easily entertained, man.
So back to your story, Pepper.
It's fine. It's just so like from a story standpoint, if I was in like say Brent, yes, you made a very good point. Stephanie Meyer's first book was Twilight. The host was but like say I was making sure I wanted to pull from reference of my own stuff and like how I could relate to children, I would definitely want to like make sure that my audience realizes that this is okay. This is something that can happen to you, and just make the best of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you think I really liked being in front of a bunch of second graders that basically were like, if you get this wrong, we're not going to like you type deal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and I had to do that. And I had to do it 4 other times. We performed James and the Giant Peach, I think, all in one day. Our class got excused from classes, and we got to perform it for the entire school. 4 different.
Second grade?
So it was K through second grade was like the first up. So we had the kindergartners come up from their part of
I'm sorry,
school.
were you in second grade?
I was not in second grade. I was in 6th grade when I did this.
Okay.
So
I mean, not like that makes much difference. I'm
no.
trying to remember what I was doing in 6th grade because, like, I was a performance guy all of my life. I've got no stage fright, so it was very useful. I don't ever get afraid on stage, so I use that for my. So I spent my entire life on stage as well. So I was like, 6th grade would have been for me Alice in Wonderland, where I played the Cheshire Cat. And it was the Disney version, so I had to sing "'Twas brillig and the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the wave."
You didn't have to sit there and talk like a fast talker New Yorker that was giving a kid a strange bag filled with glowworms.
Hey, Brian's here. Anybody notice Brian behind us? Anybody notice Brian?
No, because I can't see what you're seeing.
Oh, well, Brian's here.
Hi.
We got everybody. Wow, we got 4 people today.
Yeah, now things are going to get complicated though, because Brian's got work that. So we got to kind of figure out how to sort all of these so that we can do this. Works. I'm going to move you.
That's all you got. I'm going to let you decide that one.
Yeah. I'm just going to hang back for a second. I don't know what.
I'm just a cube now. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm just a cube. Little old me, something.
Maybe I should contact Raph. Maybe get him.
Right, we can get Raph in here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Balance it out.
Right. Adding Raph is not adding balance, people. That's adding chaos, man.
I mean, if we added Raph and Christina, that would be a little bit.
Yeah, now Christina is balance.
Christina is balance.
We're just saying.
Raph, though, we're not sure.
Raph, well,
we're not sure about him.
I hope Raph watches this show. I feel kind of bad ragging on him when he's not listening.
No, his ears are just burning right now. It's fine.
I know, right? I feel kind of like, oh, poor Raph.
Wherever he's at, he's just like, someone's talking about me right now. I know it.
Tell.
There's a shift in the force.
Right?
I don't remember. They moved, didn't they?
Yeah, out to Aurora.
Oh, they're closer to me now.
Yeah, they're closer to you and markedly harder for me to get to. When they were out here, it was really kind of nice. They were just up the street. And so how you doing, Brad?
I hate this.
I'm not doing too bad.
My shadow looks more asphalty than the actual asphalt.
It's an art party.
All right,
the best part is the colors you're wearing are the same colors as the cube. Yeah, they match
you're
the
right.
cube.
I didn't
colors
actually
I'm
notice
wearing.
that.
Oh, yeah, I am. You're right.
You're wearing a road.
That's why you're having a hard time with the asphalt. You're not wearing asphalt.
You need to become one with the asphalt.
More importantly, I think you're so this is when if we really want to rag on Colton, we can go, Colton, your hoodie looks more like asphalt than your asphalt, and then we can really get him. He's like, my shadow looks better than this. Because that's I
think I like my stance on it.
Well, it's your stance. That makes some sense.
His shirt is very black and one note and doesn't look like asphalt, so he needs more asphalt in his life.
More ass,
That's my
please.
critique.
More
Yes,
ass,
more
please.
Asphalt.
A small piece of ass. That's what you need.
Okay, I'm
Just
out.
saying.
Yeah, Brian's
how
right
Brian
out. I'm like,
loved
I'm good. It's
Brian's like, oh, I'm done.
Hey, look
I
at the
just
time.
jumped in
Wow.
just to say hi. Have a good night.
Gosh, how did it get so late?
Yeah. Look at the time.
Is it 10 o'clock already?
It's 5 o'clock.
I forgot to mention to you guys, I moved to Central Time. I'm an hour ahead. It's 11. Have a good one.
Right. All right. I'm actually kind of just chugging along here, doing fine.
That's annoying.
So Brian, how long have you been waiting for Guy to put you into the show?
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Jeez.
Yep.
We've been talking about this. That is so weird because I actually think that there's a lag of some sort because when Pepper joined this morning, he showed up because it makes a noise when you guys show up. It goes boo-doo and makes a noise. So it's not like you guys just materialize in silence or whatever. Part of the reason why I didn't see you, Brian, was because we were talking at the time that tone went off. And so I must not have heard it because of, all of us yammering and talking over here. But I think there's also a lag. I think that something lags.
That's what you can call that, I guess.
We'll blame it on the lag.
I don't
That's
know.
what all the gamers do.
I want to experiment sometime with this because I've actually been spending a lot of time talking to the Restream folks. Whenever they make updates or whatever. And so, she was saying check my browser settings too. See who thinks that what it thinks is the default.
The defat?
Defat. Appearance, no. Search engine, no. Default browser. On startup, open the new tab. Advanced. System. Computers, proxies, no. Downloads, no. Languages, accessibility. And she was saying something, the gal that I was talking to was saying something about fix the default browser's camera load because part of the problem is that it may be that the camera is not, or the default camera for Chrome is not OBS. And that would be weird because I use OBS pretty much for everything, so I can do this.
Artist problems.
Artist problems. It's always artist problems.
I'm an artist and I have problems.
Well, for one, you're friends with us. I think that's kind of right off the bat. One of the problems you got. We're your buddies, and that's not a good thing. Or maybe it is. Who knows?
Who knows? We certainly don't.
Right?
One of us. One of us.
One of us. One of us.
Oh.
You could shoot back all day long.
Wait, what? Sorry, wrong show.
I heard a very Donald-esque joke yesterday, and I can't remember it now. Oh, well. I guess if you're ever going to have dad jokes, forgetting them is probably one of the most dad joke thing you could do.
Probably.
I'm saying that because Donald's making dad jokes up there, which is great. And I was thinking of Donald the other day whenever I was reading about these jokes.
Hello.
Did you just say hello? Because that was weird.
No, I said hello.
Oh.
Close enough.
One of the things I really like about using maquettes is that I never forget things, parts of the uniform and stuff like that. Like her ring. Is that a dog?
That is a dog. That is
Okay, I
a
was like,
very
that's not mine.
That's a very yappy dog.
Oh, okay.
So that's not my dogs.
Is that your dog, Colton?
My roommate's dogs? No. They make that kind of yap, but I was like, that's not from my side. Hold on.
Where'd it come from? Haven't seen George yet today, speaking of pets and weird visits.
Well, is your wife home?
Not anymore. I think she left for work. He was in the sink this morning, and that's a thing.
Just chilling.
Yeah, he loves the sink. I think he gets overheated. And
That's
so
fair. I mean, it's
in the sink, which is cool. You know, it's a cool sink, so it's like sitting.
You and your cool sinks.
I got a cool sink.
Why can't you be like the rest of us and not have non-cool sinks?
I feel like I should call it a heat sink at that point. I'm just saying.
I've had a black cat do that before. If they are there, they may not be drinking enough water either.
That's another thing. He has been recently attacking the water bowl and knocking it over, dumping it out. And so we have to refill the water a couple of times a day now.
So it's his fault.
Thing. He's into that. We don't know.
He hasn't put two and two together of, I'm also the reasoning why that I can't have
any water. Yeah. Yeah, like he gets obsessed with the shower. So you'll get out of the shower and he immediately has to bolt into the shower and lick all the water. And I'm like, I don't know if that's sanitary.
So what I'm actually hearing from that behavior that I've actually witnessed from my own cats that I've owned is they are interested in having they are basically most likely George's wanting fresh water all the time. He doesn't want the same water sitting out all day long.
I think you are right, which I have addressed. And this weekend I bought a fish aerator, which takes in water and spits out water. And I'm going to put it into the bowl with a line so that it spins the water in the bowl. And
so he thinks it's always moving. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he thinks it's always moving. You got it. So that's my battle plan this weekend. Because I actually think you are right on target there, Pepper. That is exactly what I think is happening.
Yeah. I mean, I've had cats like that do it, and then I install like one of those water rotators. And then they freak out. They freak out at the water rotator. Like, they don't want to go near the bowl because it's moving.
Right.
And so I'm like, so how are you going to drink water? Because I was forcing them I was basically not allowing them to go into our bathrooms. We were always trying to make sure that we turned off the kitchen sink properly.
Right.
And like any cups that we were drinking out of, we had to make sure that we always took with us every single time we got up. Everything.
Yep. He's after my watercolor paints all the time. I've had that discussion a couple of times on the show.
Yep.
Because I'm like, I'm not 100% sure that's healthy for you, cat. I'm just saying. not sure you're doing the right thing there, bud.
We need to discuss your life choices.
Right. Like, you're getting all involved in this.
A little too involved.
Yep. There we go, guys. We got ourselves 4 panels now on a 6-panel page.
Nice.
Not bad.
Start to the day.
Good start to the day. All right, keep going because I'm not ready to stop.
Well, I'm waiting to hear back still on stuff, so I'm just like sitting here chilling and drawing with you.
Yeah.
What are you drawing?
I am drawing a humanoid bear, so essentially a furry.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
Then Brian perks up.
Well,
for those of you who are wondering, one of Brian's styles is furry. That's why I'm coming.
Hey, he made good money at FurCon.
Right? I'm not gonna complain.
I need to go. I hopefully the convention comes back this way so I can go there again.
Isn't it Denver?
Yeah, it's Denver.
Okay, so
but they had financial problems because of COVID.
No.
So
that's a bummer. COVID was hard on all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, even NDK was roughing it out on that one. And
you guys were like, oh, we don't really want to do it this year, but we kind of have to.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Unless we're force majeure, which we weren't.
I know I did. Okay. Shoot. Nope, that's not what I wanted.
That's not the button. Somebody said something. Fuzzy Wuzzy Bear. Some pinup girls have strange similarities to modern anime. Yes, I noticed that too. I've noticed how much the pinup girls on World War II aircraft. I agree.
Well, that's World War II aircraft. That's Betty Boop era.
Yep, that's true.
Which is where anime got its start because of Betty Boop.
Also true.
Technically, if you want to be technical about it, it actually came from the American cartoons that had huge eyes, very disproportional bodies, and they were all printed over material that American soldiers would fly over and drop over Japan.
Mm-hmm. Also true.
Yeah, Osamu Tekeku?
The guy who created Tetsuo Atom, or as we know, Atom Boy.
Yeah.
Tetsuo
Atom.
He was obsessed with Betty Boop, and he emulated that style.
Yep.
Like I said, neither of these is untrue. Because, of course, as with everything, it's not one source. There are many sources to it. But, yes, I mean, as someone who teaches the history of anime at the convention every year.
What?
Did you know that I do that?
When did this start, guy?
I've been doing
that. We also do it at a soccer festival, too. So, hey.
Yeah. But I've been teaching history of anime at NDK for many years. I do a panel, and it's actually a very popular panel, which is really weird.
That's good.
Freaks me out every time. I'm like, what are you people doing here? Go get lives.
Who are you people?
Who are you people?
The next time you do it, you're gonna get a kid that says "Okay, Boomer."
Right, exactly.
And Pepper's gonna send that kid.
Or Pepper will just be the one.
Yeah, Pepper will be the kid. Okay, Boomer. Shut up, Pepper.
Shut up, Pepper.
Yeah, I can just see you
that happening too.
Wait, is Pepper here? Is Pepper here? And then the kid that says it, I'm not Pepper.
Right.
Some guy gave me $20 in the hallway to do it.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
Cut to
yeah,
Pepper
no,
chuckling as he goes down the hallway.
laughing like Renfield.
Right?
Sorry.
Or Emma.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
No joke. I mean, I swear, I think everyone in my family has a witch's cackle when we laugh. So, get me laugh to hard. If you get me to laugh hard enough, I snort
Snort what?
like a pig.
We're pretty live today.
This little bit of white powder, you know.
You know. We're really into this. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of interesting history to
No, I know.
anime.
No.
If it weren't for World War II, we wouldn't have had anime.
Yeah, that's also somewhat true.
That's sad that that's actually pretty
Accurate.
spot on.
Yeah, accurate.
What are we gonna get with World War
No!
III?
Shit.
And if we hadn't had Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we wouldn't have had Grave of Fireflies, which makes me want to kill myself every time. Oh God.
Or Barefoot Gen.
Barefoot again. Oh, that one's rough too. Ugh. They hurt so bad. Barefoot again is just whoa.
Yeah, you could tell that artist was working through some things.
Yeah. Oof. And the animation is rough. I mean, like really rough to watch.
That's not.
Because he's got in Barefoot again, he has that scene where the bomb hit.
Yeah, and you literally watch a person melt.
Yep. A whole bunch of persons melt.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of persons?
Yeah, like, well, because it's the bomb hits the area and, you know, that depicts all of the people running and trying to melt and their eyeballs fall out. And, oh, it's horrible. Oh, it's brutal. It is a brutal scene.
Sounds like it.
Painful to watch. Very painful. Which, you know what? Sometimes that's what art is all about, you know?
A painful
Sometimes.
reminder of life. Sorry, did I go to email all of a sudden?
No, we just were ignoring you, I think, because I didn't hear you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I'm used to you ignoring me.
Right?
Everybody else, though, we need to talk.
What's their problem? Yeah.
Yeah, Colton.
Okay. So
I never ignore you. Not on purpose.
Oh, come on. Look with me here.
There we go. There's that. Do a little bit of that. That looks better. That looks more like asphalt.
Sweet.
And asphalt was created. And on the 10th day.
Next one.
Well, then,
Oh, sufficiently shocked. Oh, God. That's kind of cool, actually. Oh, Brent has been gone for long enough that Brent didn't know. That's toast, dude. I'm just saying.
This is toast?
Yeah, that's toast. Just saying.
I still need to chop off some stuff, but I haven't got to it yet.
Michelangelo. Oh, Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Well, it took
Michelangelo.
me a second. I was like not sure what he was writing, but I got it now. I'm on it. I'm on it. We're good. We're all together now. How have you been?
Above ground.
Always good. I don't know. I often wonder. I think one of the things he'd be like would be saying would be like, "Hey, you mean I got rich after I died? I hate you people."
As most artists.
Because I think that's what would really happen. He'd be like, "What? You mean I got rich after I died? That sucks."
I love what was it? I'm trying to remember this one now. It was pretty funny.
The Pablo Picasso thing.
No, it was people dying, going to heaven or whatever, and God's like, "Oh yeah, welcome to heaven." Blah blah. It's like, "Cool, can I get a beer?" He's like, "No, we don't drink here anymore." And he's like, "I think you said this is supposed to be paradise. I want a beer."
Right?
It's like, whose paradise am I living?
I like the one with the Viking. I don't know if you've seen that animation, but he's trying to get into Valhalla.
Uh-huh.
And he cannot die. Like no one can kill him. He kills everything. And then he finally he saves this Christian church.
Okay.
And he dies rescuing the church. And as he's stepping to go into Valhalla, they give him a Christian burial and he gets stuck in heaven.
Oh, oh damn it.
He's like, finally. No. That's funny. That's hilarious. Here, represent dirt under the grass, which might actually help out. Let's see.
There we go. Kind of going along here. Forgetting she's buckled in. It's important for her to.
That's a good thing. You need to be buckled in.
Yeah,
you're gonna go all over the place.
Well, it's important because the other character is not buckled in, and you need to kind of do the.
Molly, come on.
You need to do the. I want eagle-eyed viewers to go, "Hey, I just realized that the other guy's not buckled in, right?" Because it's important.
Because they like to live on the edge.
Yeah.
For the next picture, you should have the guy just standing on his chair.
Right.
Yeah. In the Captain Harlock pose. Everybody else is buckled in.
Here we go. I put this square on her chest so I would not forget when I was supposed to draw the buckle.
Did you bring
One of
the
the
buckle?
reasons that I do the maquettes also is because I'm an ADDer and I will.
You're an ADDer?
Yeah, and I will forget crap, and it's horrible. And I won't see it, and because you know how you get so close to your artwork, and I won't see it until somebody points out and says, "Hey, did you notice that she has 3 pockets in this picture and 4 pockets in this picture?" And I'll be like, "Oh, crap.
Why does that look like the wrong layer?" Because it is. Who asked you, sir?
You must stop. Why? You're on the wrong layer.
Hey, Brian, look at the screen. I literally have this for that very reason.
Yes, I know. And we've had to use it several times when I've been on here. In fact, I've already had.
I didn't know whether you'd already suffered from it or not.
In fact, I've already had the wrong layer incident happen once already this session.
Oh no.
We
You didn't
just
say something,
started.
otherwise we didn't get the opportunity to abuse you.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
were too
left
busy
out.
talking.
You weren't letting him in the room.
Always too busy talking.
See, I'm not the only one that he waits for like 5 minutes to before he brings me in. I'm just saying.
I say usually he just lets me right in, but that's because I'm like I jump in, start talking to him first, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, you can come join me." I'm like, "Okay."
Like I said, it makes a noise.
So what you're saying is he lulls you into submission.
Something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds about
Are you
right.
jealous?
Yeah.
And it's just because
Yeah.
well, Colton's in it for the lulls, so that's it.
Are you jealous, Pepper?
Nah. I'd only be jealous if he turned me down for seeing me in real life and coming to my house and I fed him. If he turned me down for that, but then
boy, that was good stuff though.
And then went to your house and ate food with you, then I would be hurt. Yes.
So when's your next party?
Right? I was about to say, I mean, like stuff going on here. I feel like Pepper's got issues he's working.
I always got issues. I'm an artist.
Right? That's true. We have entire volumes.
It's like
Pepper's an artist, but also those are also kind of Southern complaints as well.
Yes.
Are you trying to say that I'm a Southerner first before I'm an artist? Because I will match that comment because I like that.
You resemble that
had
remark?
These conversations. That's why
I
I'm like,
resemble that remark. That's all right.
I'm just saying. I invited you over for dinner, and then you said no, but you went over to someone else's house for dinner. That bitch.
Right?
That bitch.
Right? I put up with anything, but not that.
I'll never talk to Tammy again.
It reminds me of what we're talking about. It's this movie from like the 60s where they try to get out of the draft. Two guys try to get out of the draft.
Okay.
And they claim to be gay.
Oh, okay.
Tell me about this. Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
So one of them
Not
is
like
the
movie.
So one of them had a female over, and she's leaving their apartment, and she tramples through some flowers. All I know is like the guy that planted them, also gay, basically comes out and goes, "You're trampling over my peonies." And the woman looked at him and was like, "These are marigolds." And his response is, "I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one."
Oh, that was good. That's a good one. I like that one. I think I've seen that movie. That really does sound familiar.
Yeah, I think
I've seen that scene.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen the scene because it goes viral every so often because of current events or something.
Or something.
Or something. Probably current events.
Something.
And there are little things that I love about this. Like I can get all of her. I should probably put little. I can get her markings on her face, which are right on the edge of her face. So it's got a very distinct thing that I probably would have missed had I done this a different way. And yes, I'm somewhat defensive about this. Well, and the reason is because there was just another one of those posts on the manga artists page on Facebook about tracing and how you're not a real artist if you trace, sort of thing. And I'm like, I only trace whenever I'm on deadline.
I don't know. Inkers trace all the time, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it was like, well, and a while ago, um, Brent posted something from a manga artist, a mangaka, who does exactly the same procedure I do. Like literally the same thing. Uses even Daz Studio.
I know who you're talking about.
Gantz, I think, is who it is. The
Gantz does it. There's also another one. He does it for his backgrounds.
Yeah, see, I render the background straight up, but not. I mean, but the thing is that manga isn't always rendered with all the backgrounds, so all the backgrounds aren't always in. So, like for this page, I'm putting the backgrounds in the first panel, but then I'm drawing in the seats for all the other panels because you now have sort of the information of the inside of the shuttle, so I don't need to do it again. So,
Yeah.
Oh, Hone left us. Bye, Hone. We'll see
Bye,
you next
Hone.
week.
Bye, honey.
So now looking at this, I'm like, oh, I know what the problem is. Why doesn't that look right? I know, because this is the seat. One panel remains. Not even a hard panel. Yeah. Love the reflection in the eyes too, Brian.
Thank you.
Getting compliments from the peanut gallery.
I think I spend a lot of time on the eyes.
We all do. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
Oh, it's so cheesy.
The motor pool, right? The motor pool. You guys are the motor pool. I don't know. We had to come up with a different term for it because I was feeling like motor pool is definitely geek tank. It's like the folks in the geek tank, but we could call you guys the astronet because that's what the internet is called in Bellatrix.
Mm-hmm.
Or is there another name that we can call them?
I don't know. We got other names. I mean, all kinds of great options out there.
We can call them the guys.
The guys, which is great, except that I theorize that Hone might be female. So if that's the case, that'll be interesting and may go over like a ton of bricks. Well, and sometimes we have Patsy here too, so calling them the guys might not be so good. May not be as fun as most people want it to be.
I mean, you could generalize it and be like, hey, the gang's here.
Gang. You guys are the Scooby Gang. You guys are a Scooby Gang.
Yep.
That's what I do.
The Star Cluster. That's kind of cool.
All right. I I gotta get going and go get ready for work.
Stupid work. Stupid work. Stupid work.
No.
Call
This
up
is-
work. Guy will pay you for your day.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's gonna pay me for okay.
Sweet.
I got 20 minutes to call in.
Hey, Pepper, can I have a loan?
Brent, aren't you at work?
Very. Yeah. Brent's not having a good day because
I was gonna say, Brent's usually watching you while he's at work.
well, he always does. That's because his work has the flexibility to do that. But I also
I
feel
know.
like Brent's not having a good day today because he's been in and out of the show quite a bit. So it's usually a sign that
Pretty busy day.
it's slammed. Yeah.
Payment on a pole.
What are we aiming at a pole?
It's not what we're aiming, it's what we're making on the pole.
Are you pole dancing again, Colton?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
That's what Donald's telling me. I need to go make money on a pole.
We got weird stuff going on. Makes me worried about Colton, things like that.
Nothing's changed.
Right? This is all normal.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You are OH.
You
We'll
have
see
a
you
good day at
later,
work.
Colton.
See you later, Colton.
No, we've got us all actually sorted us out pretty well. I don't know. I put you down here. There we go. Somebody is constantly asking you to fix something. Yeah, I know that one.
Who, me?
No, Brent.
Oh.
Brent's having a day. There we go. One page down. Look at that. Ah. And now we're in torpor because of saving. Okay, we're done being goofy on saving thing. Gotcha. Alrighty. Page looks solid too. I'm actually pretty pleased. Looks good. I'm going to stand up and take my break that I should have taken 43 minutes ago. Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez, don't you know?
Do you got some tapioca?
Tapioca. Okay. Until the pencil layer. That's a background layer that should be merged with the ink layer. And then a couple of things we need to do on here. The least of which is we need to put stars in. Normally I have a star pattern that I put in over here. However, I'm trying to kind of get this to be right and look good, so I'm just going to go on ahead and do this real quick and put in just dots. So as an example here, I think this would be a good thing if I were going to go to go to come on, I had it a second ago. Webtoons. When I do Webtoons page for this, I'm going to extend these bottom 3 down, and in the middle here, I'm going to put just one panel of the Polaris there, because it would make a little bit more sense story-wise looking at this, because we've got panel 1, the flight controller says a thing, panel 2, our pilot replies, panel 3, then Navin says, "That's a big ship." And panel 4, she says, "Have you ever been aboard a home ship before?" So it would be nice if, for more clarity, to put a panel in there with the Polaris so that they can say, "Oh, right, the Polaris, not this shuttlecraft," which is probably not a big ship, relatively speaking. My thought process on this.
So we kept talking about anime and pinup girls and all this other stuff. So
You had to draw a pinup girl.
So I did a furry pinup girl.
I like it.
Android bear in the background.
I don't think that. I mean, nobody would turn away an astromech. Absolutely not. But I mean, like, if you brought an astromech to NDK, we'd all love it. Everybody would think it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I mean, it's not like we'd be like, oh. But if you wanted to do a panel on astromechs, that wouldn't fit on the 504c3. So we couldn't do anything there. So I guess that depends on how you look at things.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to mention, I know you don't want me to say anything political, but I don't know if this is political or not. I haven't even lived in this new house in Loveland a full year, and guess what I got? A jury summons.
Do you know that I have been summoned for jury duty twice in my entire life, and both times I called in to Jefferson County, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't need you." And I'm
This
like,
is my 4th time being called in since moving.
I don't know what they're, because it's the same thing. My wife's been called like 6 times, and it's like so weird. And I've been called twice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in April, so there's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And I'll end the show by I'll towards the end of the show, I will be in Dallas at the end of May as well for Collecticon.
Right. So has anybody ever made a Decepticon? Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? And it went really bad. That's right. It's one of the banned cons.
The
Like,
Decepticon
yeah, because
convention?
well, okay, so like there are names that are just cursed. Like no one will
Yeah,
ever name Star Trek convention a Wrath of Khan because
right.
one convention did and everything went wrong. The whole thing. I mean, it would not have been surprising if the hotel had burned down. Sort of like every stupid thing went wrong in that particular
Let's see.
thing. So
Decepticon, Social Deception Gaming. What?
it's not Transformers Con. See, now I feel
Yeah,
bad.
but
Like,
like that feels like a missed opportunity right there.
right? Should be a
No, it's a gaming convention.
Well, yeah, but gaming is not the same as Transformers.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
but
it's geeky.
yeah, they're talking like werewolves and villagers and
Oh, so the social game. Okay, so they're talking like
LARPs.
no,
yeah,
not LARPs,
yeah.
not LARPs. There's actually a genre of game that's like find the werewolf. So like
So I have it up right now, and apparently it just happened it happened this past January in Atlanta. Um, Basically, you purchase a badge, and you basically have to find the ultimate werewolf, the secret Hitler, blood on the clock tower, and
yeah,
then you basically have to it's a deception game. Like you have to
yeah, it's all
basically
the
go through.
deception games. It's find the
Yeah,
werewolf. I'm surprised resistance isn't in there, which is find the traitors, that sort of thing. So you are
yeah,
given a role, and you have to figure out what other people are, who other people are.
yeah, because you can. Um, yeah, because yeah, they were saying like they have like a bunch of rules. Basically, outside of the designated areas, you can't be drinking alcohol. Obviously, offensive public behavior will be like not tolerated.
And you'll be shot.
Yeah, like what they're not responsible for your personal belongings and your personal safety are still your own, not theirs. Um, Everything can change at the convention's whim. No weapons are allowed, so you're not allowed to bring any weapons, not even a squirt gun.
Makes sense.
No vaping, eating, or anything in the main halls. Don't abuse the buildings, obviously. That's a given. You're not allowed to hand out anything if you table at this convention. Wow.
That's interesting.
So, like anything free, like stickers or flyers or cards, you can't give those out.
That's
I'm always interested in like weird rules at conventions because we have a no signs policy, um, which comes from Ranma, strangely enough. Because people would dress as Genma and then smack people with signs. And so,
Well,
so we ended
so
up
it's
having
very
to ban
specific.
signs.
Genma is not the only um, anime character that does that too.
Right. So, but it was Genma was the start of it.
People dressing up as him as a panda. Yeah, I can totally see that being a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that it was legit. I was in operations when this all went down, and I'm like, people are what? And
So
they were like,
this is what I'm gonna suggest. How about me? How about I come up with a furry suit that makes me look like Genma? You make my sign, but we write it in Japanese so no one knows what I've said. But in Japanese, it says, I won't hit anyone with this sign, I promise.
"Ataru nai de."
Yes. And
Ataru nai
then
de.
And then, and only then, I get special permission only if I find someone dressed up as Ranma.
Right. What's so funny about that is they use ataru, which is the verb to hit, for also like getting the point. So Genma looks like a big panda. So they use that same. So if you say ataru naide, you're also saying I didn't get the joke, which is even funnier. So I think that makes it even that
makes it better.
Right? That adds an entire level of awesome to it.
Particularly if someone speaks Japanese and they see that,
Right?
They'll just start busting up laughing.
Right? Because they'd be like, yeah, you don't get it all right.
Here, there's Brent was asking, what does Genma look like? Hold on. I'm going to share my screen.
So this is another one of those where the maquette doesn't look anything. Oh, see, now you've added a whole complication of things. There we go.
There you go. So where my mouse is, this is his panda form. This is his human form.
Right.
Okay. His son turns into a girl. Let me see if I have a better shot. So this is like someone recreated a screenshot type deal with using different language. But this is them like transforming in the cold rain. So
now, mind you, like half the cast transforms. So this is not like just that character. It's like most of the characters transform because they, for some reason, all went to the same spring.
Nanichuan.
Yeah.
All went to Nanichuan.
Yeah.
Well, they all went to Jusenkyo. Jusenkyo.
Thank you.
Nanichuan was the name of the pool of drowned girl.
Right. And
which was, in fact, the only time I liked the dub better in any instance was the Chinese guy in the dub of Ranma just was so freaking funny.
They changed his lines, though, I swear.
They totally changed his lines, but
yeah,
the lines they changed them to were hysterical.
Well, yeah, they definitely camped it up in the dub.
Oh, they totally did, and it was so funny. But oh no, you fell into spring of drowned girl. Very, very bad. And then she comes out and she opens her shirt and sees her boobs and screams. And he goes, see, now you girl. And I just, I don't know why that was so funny.
Well, and then like part of the series, if you read the manga, part of the series was like, then you have that entire tribe of men that ran out of females. So you have like, once they started running out of females, they started battling and finding animals and throwing them into the spring of drowned girl.
Yes.
So like their children, so like, and then they had children with these newly found human women were basically married off to these people. They then in turn had children with these men.
Like this was somewhat disturbing. Like it was an interesting commentary, but very disturbing. And we were like,
it was like I all you see, and like when you actually like when you actually have to see this tribe, you find out that they're still only bearing male children, and so they're still continuing to do it. So you have like these humans that basically when they get splashed with warm water, their animal traits go away. And then like they get wet with cold water and all of a sudden they'll have like wings or talons or like some weird animal trait that's attached to their humanoid form.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't fully transform.
Right. There's a That one though made the question of, because that was always the question that we had, which was, okay, Ranma-chan turns into Ranma-chan. Ranma turns into Ranma-chan from Ranma-kun. That's how you identify whether they're male Ranma or female Ranma. Ranma-chan then gets pregnant. What happens at that point, right? I don't know, calling from California? Good heavens.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean,
It's 11 o'clock, so whoever it was, like, spot on to the 11 o'clock time.
All I know is that there was a fanfic because at the very end of Rama 1/2, it's not very clear because Jisenkyo was drained. So they're not very clear whether or not when they refill Jisenkyo, if the curses are still there or not. And Akane had fallen into the Spring of Drowned Man.
Yep.
And so, but they never were really clear if she got cursed or not. So there is, in fact, a fan fiction where they don't use the names of the characters. They just describe a man training in a dojo, and it's the Tendo dojo, and he all of a sudden has to like run off because his wife is having a baby.
Yeah, I saw that one.
There, and Ranma basically says to him, as Ranma says to Akane from the hospital bed after giving birth, next time you're having the baby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there.
Prego.
Anyways, it's 11 o'clock, so
it's 11 o'clock. It's time for us to head on out.
Yeah.
We're going to make like a baby and head out.
So. Keep your eyes on the stars, folks.
You're like, and with that. Hey, look at the cute picture I did though of Mayrel.
Yeah, it's very nice.
She's screwing with people. She's chuckling. She's having fun. She's messing with him. It's all right, dude. It's all right. I think it looks great. Actually, I'm kind of proud of that picture. So she looks like she's just messing with him. So it's all good. Okay. That's the way this works, folks. Okay. Thank you for joining me, Brian. Thank you for joining me, Pepper. Thank you for joining me, Colton, even though Colton's not here. How did your...
Bye, Brent. Bye, Donald. Bye, Hone. Bye, everyone else.
This is the last thing that we were quickly here for Can. Can's second monitor. And yep, thanks for joining us, Brent and Donald and Hone. And we will see all of you guys next week. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye. Computer, good night.